Welcome to South Coast Radio, where we celebrate real stories, authentic music, and the artists behind the songs. Today, we are joined by an incredible new voice in Afrikaans music, a singer, songwriter, storyteller, and speaker whose music is deeply honest, emotional, and rooted in real life experiences. Originally from Kraaifontein and now based in Paarl, she's using her voice to create music that speaks about love, healing, faith, mental health, and the realities of life as part of the 80 kV Crescendo mentorship program. She now releases her debut single, Egte Liefde, a heartfelt song about real love beyond the fairy tale image. So let's welcome Tamryn Madalé to the show. Tamryn, it's wonderful to have you with us today. How are you doing?
Hi there, Ryan, and hi there, listeners. I am so excited to be on your show, and I'm doing great.
Wow, that's really great to hear and glad to have you with us once again on the show. So, you've been writing songs from a young age. When did you first realize that music and storytelling were such an important part of your life?
I think since I was like really young, especially entering into my teenage years, it became quite like the release and the outlet for me, because when you're a teenager you go through all kinds of emotions and every breakup feels like the end of the world. So storytelling and songwriting for me was kind of like therapy, especially when you don't got a lot of people to talk to. So it became my therapy and my source of comfort. I could release all my emotions onto paper. I won't share like some of the songs that I wrote back then because it's a bit embarrassing. But I think I've improved since then. Yeah.
That's really great stuff, Tamryn. So your music moves between pop, ballads, contemporary sounds, and even touches of jazz. How would you describe your sound to someone hearing you for the first time?
I would say it's very difficult to put me in one box, especially when it comes to something like genre. But if I were to be in a box, I would just say all my music is honest, and each song should be taken as it's in its own entirety, because each song is a world of its own, emotionally, what you will experience through each song. So I would say to somebody listening to my music, with each song comes its own identity, comes its own world. So whatever you may be experiencing in the moment, hopefully one day there'll be a whole library of my music that people can just choose from, that fits with their mood and their emotions.
That's great stuff, Tamryn. So, you've said your music is shaped by real life experiences like family, faith, struggles, and hope. How much of yourself do you pour into your songwriting?
I think for me, songwriting itself is such a personal thing. I don't think I would be able to write anything without pouring any of myself into it. So it's such a personal thing. That's why when I release something, when I release the song as well, I felt a bit like I was being exposed. So when people listen to my music, that's my story. Like Egte Liefde, that's a story of me and my husband, the love of my life, and how things are not always easy, but it's always authentic. So in each of my songs, there's a little bit of me that people can experience and become a part of.
That's great stuff, Tamryn. So, also as a mother of three, you often write music late at night in quiet moments. What is it?
Yes.
What is it that What is that creative process like for you?
I think I don't know at which times of the day other people write, but like late night is the only time when it's actually quiet for me. But it's always been like that with me since I was young already. I prefer to write at night when I know nobody's going to watch me, nobody's going to randomly show up, and I know the creativity can flow without being broken or interrupted. I think that's something that's so important as a creative, knowing your space, knowing your times, knowing like what is the best kind of atmosphere and environment environment for you to write in. And for me, especially now that I'm a mom of 3 busy little ones, late night is the time for me.
Well, that's great stuff, Tamryn. And now you've also been very open about topics like depression, anxiety, and healing.
Yeah.
Why is it important for you to create space for honest conversations through your music?
I think growing up, I really struggled with vocalizing what I was feeling when it came to things like depression. And because of my personality, I'm somebody like if people meet me, they'll say, oh, she's so optimistic and she's so bubbly and she's, fun and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot going on in my mind. So I struggle to voice things like depression and anxiety because I always felt like there was a shame attached to it. But then I got older and I realized if I'm not going to voice these things, then it's going to bottle up inside of me. And I don't want to be that person, when it's too late and then people are like, oh my gosh, I never knew you were going through all of that. So I prefer to I vocalize it now. I vocalize it through music, through my social media platforms. And my hope with that is just that other people also see, this is a safe space and it's okay to share every aspect and every facet of who you are. You don't always just got to share the good stuff. It's okay to share the things that you are usually ashamed of sharing as well. It doesn't make you less human or less wonderful.
Awesome. So you've also previously served as an ordained pastor between 2022 and 2025. How has your background in ministry influenced the way you approach music today?
Yeah, I think coming from like being an ordained pastor and having that, and now moving into the music scene, transitioning into this fully, I used to approach life through lenses where everything was just spiritual and you pray about something and then it's all better now. But now having music, I try to look at things more holistically. In my music also, I write about different kind of things that we deal with in life. I write about conflict, I write about depression, I write about, the voices that we battle with in our minds. And all of these things put together are what make us human. So we are more than just spiritual beings, but we are holistic beings. And seeing that now and bringing that forward, I think having taken that from being somebody who just did ministry and now bringing that into the music industry, I can now deal with it more and share more holistically.
Okay, and then you've also described ATKV Crescendo as a turning point in your life. What did that mentorship program mean to you personally and creatively?
I think the timing of Crescendo, I entered, it was the year 2024 I entered already, and then the program was 2025. The timing of it was I needed it. I needed that light in my life at the time, and I needed that push because I had just decided, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it in music or start music. I just need to find a way to support my family and focus on that. And then a friend said, Tamryn, write in and see what happens, and I did. And now I am recording Afrikaans music thanks to ATKV Crescendo. So it was a perfectly timed light and push that I needed to get me into the music industry.
Great stuff, Tamryn. So let's talk about your debut single, Egte Liefde. What inspired you to write this song?
Mainly my husband. We are married now for 7 years. We've known each other for 9, but we've been through so much together. When I met him, when we got married, he was studying, he was still getting his degree, so we didn't have an income. And then, we had kids, and along the way, our kids got sick also. We've got 2 kids with epilepsy, and then our baby has asthma also. So all of these different things and financial struggles, it took its toll on our relationship, There weren't so many romantic nights, and there were quite a few arguments as well, but still we kept on choosing each other, and we knew that the war wasn't against each other, but rather against everything external that was going on. 100%. And then Egte Liefde was just born from that realization, that love is not like the fairy tales or like the movies that we grow up exposed to, but it's about choosing each other over and over and over again.
Awesome, Tamryn. And one of the powerful things about the song is its honesty about real relationships and choosing each other through difficult seasons. What message do you hope listeners take from it?
like especially people who are in relationships for a long time now, or you've maybe hit a bump in the road, but you still really love each other. I hope that they can look each other in the eye again and choose each other again when they listen to my song, or that they fall in love with each other again, and love that is authentic, not the butterflies and all of that stuff, but something that is real and grounded. So I'm hoping that this will, mean something, especially to people who are in love right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the song was produced by John McMahon. What was it like?
Yes.
What was it like bringing your vision to life in studio?
I think because I was a bit intimidated in the beginning because he is an award-winning producer, but he's such a humble person. So hearing his perspective and his experience of the song, because I just gave him a raw vocal recording of the song and the melody, and then he brought, what he was hearing, he brought that to the song, and then experiencing that in studio, for me, it was really just a dream come true. I know that sounds a bit cheesy, but I have no better way to describe it as a dream come true. Like the little girl in me was rejoicing because of that moment, and it was such an honor to be able to work with Jean-Marc Meyer.
Awesome stuff, Tamryn. You've already also shared stages with artists like Craig Lucas and Petra Nalbad, and you dream of one day performing at Afrikaans' Groot. What are your hopes for the future of your music career?
Yeah, look, like my dreams are a bit crazy, but I always say to myself, this was a crazy dream once, and it's coming true. So what are the chances of my next crazy dream also coming true? So my hopes after working with people like Craig Lucas and Petra Nalbad already, who are also such incredible artists, is just to continue to be able to rub shoulders with other people, especially in the Afrikaans music industry. Like I have the honor of working with Fransjo van Coke on my album launch, which is in November. So I'm hoping that I get to do more things like that, and just to continue making music that people can connect with and relate to, and to see that becoming a reality.
That's great stuff, Tamryn. Just one more question before we close off with the interview. Where can the listeners find your music, such as Egte Liefde, and also follow you online?
So my song Egte Liefde is officially available on Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, Google Play, so anywhere the main streaming platforms. And as soon as the music video launches, which is a week and a half from now, then it will be available on YouTube as well. So they can find me on all of those platforms. And then also on social media, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as Tamryn Madalé. So they can find me there and follow my journey and see, what's the latest news, and hopefully listen to the rest of my music that will be coming out soon.
Really great stuff, Tamryn. Thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your journey, your heart, and your beautiful music with us today. It's really been awesome having you with us today. And to the listeners, Egte Liefde sounds like a song that many people will deeply relate to, honest, vulnerable, and full of meaning. So be sure to stream Egte Liefde on all digital platforms. And keep an eye out for Tamryn's upcoming EP, which is releasing in November.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.